Hello everybody, it's Yashar here, back again with another video, and in this video I'm going to quickly go over the most recent letter to shareholders from CEO of Brookfield Corporation, Bruce Flatt. I will also cover the latest press release of Brookfield Corporation, which includes the recent earnings and financial results. Brookfield is one of the core holdings in my stocks portfolio, and I currently have 11% of our stocks portfolio invested in this company. For those of you who are not familiar with this company, Brookfield Corporation is focused on finding undervalued assets and businesses, deploying capital on a value basis, and compounding it over the long term. And their business has three core pillars of asset management, insurance solutions, and operating businesses. Brookfield Corporation reported their earnings report yesterday, and I have to say, I'm impressed with the numbers in this report. Let's first start with the Bruce Flatt letter to shareholders. Bruce Flatt is the CEO of Brookfield Corporation, and he is the master of his craft. He started this letter with his heading, "The quarter was strong." He mentioned that our businesses performed well and cash flows were strong. We announced more than 50 billion of acquisitions, sold approximately 15 billion of assets, and grew to 850 billion of assets under management during the first half of the year. Our scale, global operations, long-term capital, and deep investments and operating expertise position us exceptionally well in the long run. We remain focused on delivering on our goal to building one of the largest pools of discretionary private capital in the world, enabling our clients and shareholders to earn strong returns while taking moderate risk. I totally agree with his take on their earnings after looking at the numbers they reported in the recent earnings report. The distributable earnings, which is the most important metric for this company, was up 21% year over year, which is absolutely impressive. They have almost $120 billion liquidity, basically ready to deploy in various assets and businesses around the world, which put Brookfield in a very interesting position in private capital market. Next, Bruce Flatt discussed what they did with their distributable cash flow in the last quarter and what they're trying to do with their money, with their cash flow in the future. During the quarter, we invested our distributable earnings into our asset management and insurance solution businesses and returned $146 million to shareholders through regular dividends and share repurchases. We expect to continue to allocate capital towards share buybacks, given the gap between our intrinsic value and the trading price, which is exactly what we expect them to do, what we expect to see from Brookfield Corporation management team. The CEO of Brookfield is not only buying back the shares using the excess cash flow, he also bought the shares of the company with his own money in May, which is another positive sign as the management team believes Brookfield was extremely undervalued, at least at $42 per share. Bruce Flatt continued with some examples of their successful financial transactions during the last quarter, including 3 sales of some international assets, some office campuses in India for 4x profit, their mobile network operator in New Zealand for 2.6x return, and their wind and solar assets in Uruguay for a 2x return. He also mentioned a few examples of how they are deploying capital into new investments. One example is their investment in their insurance businesses via acquisition of AEL, which is one of the largest independent scale annuity platforms in the United States, with a float of approximately 50 billion and earnings of almost 400 million a year. In regards to real estate, Bruce Flatt reassured all Brookfield investors that their great real estate assets will endure and adjust, and that these interest rate increases will merely be a blip on the value of their great real estate portfolio in the long term. He used a memo from Howard Marks to remind everyone about the market sentiment in this letter. Watch for moments when most people are so optimistic that they think things can only get better, an expression that usually serves to justify the dangerous view that there is no price too high. Likewise, recognize when people are so depressed that they conclude things can only get worse, as this often means they think a sale at any price is a good sale. When the herd's thinking is either Pollyanna-ish or apocalyptic, the odds increases that the current level and the direction are unsustainable. This is a very interesting paragraph, and I fully agree with this message, that the key to success in investing journey is not to follow the herds, and it is to try to think independently. I personally saw this in my own investment journey. For example, last year when I was down 65% on my Meta investments, most people told me to sell my shares as the company is not going anywhere. TikTok and Twitter are taking their market share, nobody uses Facebook and Instagram, and their business are going to disappear soon. A lot of investors sold Meta at $100, $95, and even $88 per share because they believe the stock is going to continue to go down. But we saw what happened and how Meta recovered those losses as their core business was still strong despite extremely negative sentiment of investors. So I fully agree with Howard Marks and Bruce Flatt here. So Bruce Flatt finally finished his letter with a message about their Investor Day on September 12th. I will cover Investor Day of Brookfield in detail on September 12th as it can give us more information about future plans of Brookfield Corporation. Anyway, looking at the numbers in this earnings report and looking at Bruce Flatt letter to shareholders, I'm more confident than ever that Brookfield Corporation is an amazing business that will compound capital for the years to come. And I'm a happy shareholder that will continue to hold my shares in this company for a very long term. There you are, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video and my coverage of earnings report of Canadian companies, consider subscribing to the channel to see similar videos. I will cover the earnings report of Keelam and Granite REIT next, but until that time, I see you guys in the next video. Farewell.